A quiet week of weather is ahead. However, there's a couple of systems we need to keep a close eye on, especially in the eastern two-thirds of the U.S. And thereafter, we're looking at a polar vortex split, which could feature some very, very interesting weather, especially as we get closer to Valentine's Day and the following weekend. If you do enjoy this video, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing with friends. Let's get right into it. So first, we'll start out with satellite imagery. It's been a while. Back to school after a very long break from the previous winter storm in the Northeast and overall cross-country winter storm, mainly from the desert Southwest up through the Northeast and New England. Shut down school for a whole week over here near the Philly metro area. So it's been a very, very slow week last week, and it'll probably start slow this week as well, as we're just getting back into the routine. Now, it's going to be a nice little break, I'd say, this week in terms of any real active weather across the U.S. A couple of disturbances I'm watching midweek and late week, which I'll talk about in this video. First, if we were to pause this, you can actually see, we'll go right here, this over here is all snow cover, believe it or not. This is all snow cover. You see how it's kind of white compared to, like, for example, compare these two. Here, this is all snow cover in the Northeast and even in portions of the Southeast, okay? It is rapidly melting in these areas, I'd say. Virginia, portions, besides the mountainous regions, but portions of North Carolina, rapidly melting. And there's actually a system that's going to bring some light rainfall, which will definitely melt a lot of that snowpack, sorry. But portions of Charlotte, especially north of Charlotte, actually ended up with a foot of snow. And so that probably won't be going anywhere, even with the rain that's on the way, but most areas should melt off. I'd say once you get DC, especially north, is where we'll continue hanging on to that big time snowpack, especially because we have that sleet on top, which is really keeping everything intact. So if we were to kind of talk about the little systems, some cloud cover in the Pacific Northwest with the broad low pressure spinning well offshore. Towards the central U.S., some actually, I think this is some wildfire smoke actually coming out through here. Not for sure if anyone could confirm if you are in these areas. Either way, some high cirrus clouds. And then kind of to the north of that, we have a little disturbance that's going to dive its way down south and east. We'll have another little piece of energy. It's right around here. You can already see it. This will come up and try to get ahead of this northern piece, and you get a little low to pop off. And it'll bring some light snows to here. That's not really an accurate track. Kind of track more like that. So we'll get some light snows in these areas. Okay, DC, Virginia, Northern Virginia. These areas could get some light snows, probably a little further south. And then some rain near and south of the track. So it'll be a very light disturbance, though. It won't be as impactful, but given it will be coming in through the morning rush or overnight Tuesday into the morning rush hour portions of the cities on the 95. It will only be coating to an inch, maybe up to 2 in some areas. But given we have a cold ground, given it's coming in ideal timing, given we already have ice still left over from the previous storm, it's something to watch out for. So we'll kind of dive into that. But trends have been towards less and less snowfall. But that can change up to the last minute. We'll talk about that. If we're to look at these features on a graphic map, here it is. So here's your first low pressure up here. A little more defined is this north stream than the southern stream energy. This will again dive south and east. Besides that, some overall high pressure in the west, high pressure in the east, mainly up north, and that's really just keeping temperatures just frigid. You won't see the low here, but it's in here, and then here's your high pressure embedded right there. So we'll watch this low as it dives down south and east. Alerts and indices, nothing much. Florida with a bunch of freeze watches, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, freeze warnings in these areas. So vegetation, this is getting pretty far south too, almost getting near Miami, where we do have some cold weather advisories. So some frozen iguanas are likely. In the west, some scattered dense fog advisories. Besides that, nothing much. Over here in northeastern North Dakota, some winter weather advisories that's associated with that very weak shortwave that is kind of diving through. Weak but present. Weak but omnipresent. Then you get your little low coming from the southern stream. Again, try to get ahead, but you will kind of have a little kink in the jet stream, almost a kicker. Same thing that forced our other winter storm to only affect portions of the Carolinas and then headed out. This will also kind of keep it weaker. If that wasn't there, had a bigger ridge here, it could amplify, but it won't be able to do that. In fact, it'll probably weaken. So That's why you do have winter weather advisories posted for portions of Michigan, northern Indiana, northwestern Ohio. Here is your winter weather, kind of just, it's just going to be a stripe of snow in these areas. Winter weather advisories, portions of northern Kentucky, southeastern Indiana, southern Ohio, including Cincinnati, portions of central to northern West Virginia. Now, you do have mountains in here, okay? Here, let me kind of draw a little better. You have mountains right in through here. Okay, right in through here, you have mountains, okay? So there could be some winter weather advisories that do get posted further east, especially I'd say, I'll talk about where. But the cities, honestly, I don't think they're really going to end up with any winter weather advisory. I say the highest chance would probably be DC if I had to pick a city. But even there, I don't think we'll have really any winter weather advisories. I think there could be because it's morning commute hour, rush hours. But I don't know. We'll have to see some slight upticks. But it's close call. But I think it does stay just shy. South of you guys, we'll have that little stripe of snow that'll pass. And then you have another little burst of backside snow that could affect portions of northern North Carolina, and that could drop widespread 1 to 3 inches. So I'm going to watch that. That could easily prompt some winter weather advisories in those areas. Some special weather statements there currently. And that's about it. So overall quiet, but a couple of little disturbances that we have to watch out for. So let's kind of go through and show these disturbances. So first piece of energy right in here, we'll show the vorticity map actually first. I like showing that because it helps to kind of show everything together. So here it is. Here's our upper level trough. This will kind of move east and provide an area of confluence, keeping things suppressed, not really getting the storm further north. Here's your southern stream energy right here, northern stream energy right here. Again, obviously seems more impressive than southern stream, but even itself isn't anything too impressive. It is relatively strong though. But watch how it kind of comes through. And right here, so here is your kind of TPV, okay? Here's your energy, your confluence. It'll start to back up north and east. This will be a crucial factor to see how north the snow gets. Here's your southern stream right here, starting to phase with this, but look behind it, okay? You have some kicker energy right through here. It's nothing consolidated, but it's energy that is shoving everything progressively east. So very progressive flow. It's gonna be in and out really quickly. So you see it you can see the merge though. It's clear with the merge. It's a pretty clean phase. But again, these pieces are just too weak in that confluence. Really, you could have some areas though that, like in these areas right in here, you could have some extra lift given. It'll be interesting to watch, but you see that energy kind of get pulling through. Here's a confluence. It's pressing pretty far south, so it'll likely stay right in here, maybe even south of Philly. So we'll have to watch it. But there's your snowfall, and this is that energy watch. You'll see it kind of get kicked. This is what I'm watching for some snows up near northern North Carolina. I'll show you guys that on the model guidance. So how does it look on the surface map? Some models are more aggressive, others not so much. RGEM, probably, I like the RGEM, just how it shows. So here's a stripe of snow. Pretty solid stripe of snow here. I think 1 to 3 inches is definitely plausible. But the mountains, like you can see, it eats, like see how it kind of looks like a wall? Watch the moisture just barely get past once it hits there. Look, barely gets past. Then you get some redevelopment. There's your little burst, little kind of circle of snow coming in 10, 11 p.m., 9, 10, 11 p.m., lasting through the early dawn hours, and then it's out. And then here's your little energy that could cause a nice little snow event for portions of northern North Carolina and southern Virginia. So we'll have to watch that. And then a clipper behind that. So RGM is a pretty good idea. DAM was being more aggressive. Now here's our 18Z coming in. It'll be important to see how that looks. Let's see how the 18Z ARRR, some new look for me. Here also kind of south, honestly. So DC, best chance does get some snow showers up near Baltimore, Philly, but nothing much. So it's been trending south as well and weaker. So gonna be a little disappointment, another little miss, but we'll see how it kind of trends out. It's gonna be close for even people that are cashing in. It's gonna be coatings, okay? 1 to 3 best west of the mountains, along and west, and then we'll see the stream this next system for North Carolina. HRDPS, all these models. I will say this model, the WRF ARW, is a little more aggressive. You see that snow kind of lifting up further north. This could be a reasonable boom situation, so we'll watch that. But NAM, if you go to the favorite NAM, we'll go back to 12Z. Even itself, the model that loves to kind of get crazy, you could say. Oh my goodness, what is going on? Okay, there we go. So you could see, yeah, this even is a little more south. I mean, brings a little stripe, falls apart, little scattered snow showers. So I just say scattered snow showers in those areas, but we'll watch it again. Trends will be important up to the event with these small scale events, okay? So that's about that, and then that's about it. We'll take a quick look. Let's go with the Euro. I just want to talk about the Clipper. Here it is, comes through. This could be a little more impactful proportions of DC to Philly, even including portions of New York City, Boston, all along the 95. This comes in around afternoon time, Friday, and lasted early evening hours before heading out. And then maybe another little stripe of snow behind it, all northern stream energy, and then after that it gets cloudy, but does look like a warmer pattern, I will say. We'll talk about that right about now. So, here, actually, let's kind of go through the long term. So there's your storm. We're just showing. We'll have a polar vortex split. That's where it's going to get interesting, where we could see the west start to get more active and snow here. Like, look at right now, quiet, more active, and colder. You see that ridge, that ridge starting to flex in the east. So let's talk about it. Here's our big cold piece. Why do we have this in the first place? First of all, we have ample ridging in the west, slightly negative NAO, and it's breaking down over here as well. And then you have kind of this 50-50 low Atlantic ridge. I'm saying that piece of energy that's going to bring snow from Northern Carolina, if that went negative quicker, you could see an East Coast snowstorm. Honestly, you could see an East Coast snowstorm with that, which is obviously way too positive, so no hope with that. But here's a kind of trough that swings through. Here it is, swings through. This is currently going on. This is your trough, tall ridge in the east. Like, this is a pretty nice look. Just never can get anything to hook up. There's your positive trough. If this was more like, see how it's like that? If this was more like that, game on. Okay, but obviously you need some major adjustments. Probably not gonna happen. There's your ridge. There's your little clipper. Okay, but it's departing, and there you get your ridging. This is midweek next week. We start to get some ridging. You can say even as early as next week. Negative PNA, finally. Up in Alaska. Still some negative NAO. And blocking. Could become a 50-50 low. This is your next storm threat. Okay, this is where. So brief moderation. Then you have, this is what I like to see. First you have a negative NAO. Western based. Okay. Some sort of 50-50 low signal showing up here. Atlantic ridging. We probably want to undercut it a little more. Some sort of Gulf of Alaska low. Now, what you don't like with this is you don't have a tall ridge. You can't really get amplification. So you're kind of depending on your southern stream over here to kind of get something going. And this isn't a true split flow. You don't really get northern stream energy completely diving south. So you have to watch it. But it is next storm threat. So we'll watch that. And then after that, it gets a little cloudy. But there's signs of a split polar vortex where the polar vortex goes on the other side of the globe, so you get warmer air to flood in the east and some cooler air in the west. So we'll watch that. How am I buying that yet? Not sure. So that's about it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great rest of your day, and relatively quiet week, but we'll see if that changes. Have a great rest of your day.